Boy, my bushcraft buddies would love this. Back in there, between a couple of trees, set up a hammock or a little tent. Nobody could see them. And they'd spend a few days, some of my buddies even spend a week out just getting in touch with nature like that. Man, oh man. Maybe someday when I retire, I'll do some of that. I'll go for it. I'll try to do like a week-long adventure. That's pretty neat. Yep. It's definitely a lot colder. It's pretty cool. Maybe see Ichabod Crane and the Headless Horseman come zipping through there. Ah, the fresh air. Welcome back, fishing friends, to another adventure. I'm up here on the big lake today. Got out here a little bit later. Gonna be testing some lures as usual, but for the most part today, just having fun. Fun fishing, I guess you could say. And just enjoying this nice weather. Man, it's kind of a little bit different. All right, let's get it rolling. Check it out, guys. Found this rattle trap. I guess the hook's rusted out. It was down in the sand there. Pretty cool little find. All right, guys, we're hooked up on a chatterbait jackhammer with a biffle bug. Oh, and it's a catfish? Really? Man, check that out. They've just been munching lately. Whew. I hear him growling. Oh, man, he hammered that pretty good. There we go. I got him unhooked. There he is right there. Check him out. There he goes. This is the old biffle bug, but now they call it something else. Yum calls it the scuttlebug or something, but check out that color. I take off the bottom appendage. It looks like a little bluegill swimming. So just throwing this on the Bass X with a Lew's Custom Max XP and just buzzing it around. He just clocked it. I love this reel. So smooth. Scuttlebug, maybe that's what they call it. Yum calls it. I just call it the biffle bug. Jean LaRue biffle bug. There it is right there. All right, guys, I was throwing top water all morning. Nothing doing. I was disappointed. I couldn't get anything rolling with that. So I switched over to this jackhammer. And right out of the gate, I get a catfish. Yeah, that looks like a little bluegill. See him swimming? The other thing I'll do is I just let it sit on the bottom and tug it. He got my line slimed up there, it looks like. So I've got 12 and 12 from Sunline, braid fluoro leader. Oh yeah, check out all that slime. I'm gonna have to get that off of there. Unless it leaves like a nice little scent trail. Yeah, check that out. It's just Slime City. Yikes. Alright guys, I'm going to start off throwing this Fish Lucky Strike spinner bait here with a, check out that trailer, Berkeley Power Stinger. Throwing this one on the Falcon 6.8 with, I think it's 12-pound Cortland Master Braid on this Vivlo Draken 1. So we're gonna see what we can pull out of here. Oh my gosh, I cast it out straight that way, but the wind is just howling and it drifted it clean over. Start off the day, I mean start this section off over here. I don't fish over here too often, but sometimes it could pay off. Man, that looks good in the water. Ooh wee. Oh man, the wind pushes it all over. You can't hear or feel the wind because we're down low in here, but man, it is there. Ooh, what was that? Oh my gosh, guys, right here, right in front of me. Check it out. On the Fish Lucky Strike. Ooh, man, he got popped by a... See that on this side right there? I gotta get this sure footing. Man, he looks like he got popped by one of those herons. Or an eagle. Ooh. There it is, right there. Check out that spinnerbait, man. Berkeley Power Stinger on the back. There he is. Yeah, he got popped. There you go, buddy. There he goes. Boom. Okay, guys, let me tell you something about this spinnerbait. I listened to Jimmy Houston kind of explain the design on it. So, if you notice how it's this clothespin style, but if you notice how the top part and the blade does not extend past the hook or over it, that way they got a clean shot at it. And so I was thinking about that. I was like, you know what, a lot of my crappie baits are like that, my little jig spinners, but you see so many companies now running these arms way up and way over. And so I started to look at some of the other spinners I haven't had, a whole bunch that were like that, that the arm was too big. So I traded those for some other ones with a buddy of mine. And then anyway, I bought these. Just went to the Fish Lucky Strike website and bought a bunch of them. So there's a little tip for you when it comes to spinner baits. He hit, see how I'm standing in the water? He hit just right there. What is that? Oh, kind of crazy bug. Oh man, he just landed on my cheek. So he must have thought this was gonna come out of the water, and he just hit it, you know. Anyway, there's your pro tip right there on spinner baits. On this suspending rogue, this anchovy color, man, I just got whacked right here. Oh, check it out. It's one of these little dudes. Man, he just popped it. There we go. Kind of a little fella, but man, he was hungry if he was going after that. Looks just like a minnow. This one is the anchovy color that Frank Scalish designed. Suspending color. I mean suspending model. Pretty neat. I think I need to tune it just a little bit. See how it's jumping out all crazy? I guess it looks like a wounded fish, huh? So whenever you want to tune these, you just lay it straight down. And it doesn't take much. Boy, this thing was way out of tune. Sheesh, it was like way over to one side. It was a miracle I caught a fish on that. Crazy. Yeah, guys, if you have never really thrown the Smithwicks, look at that, cast a country mile, give them a shot. They have a different action than any other jerkbait, and everyone's forgets about it, but man, this thing, I do like a sweep, then I'll twitch, 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 twitch. And it's suspending, so you can just let it sit there too. So it's all in how you, like your rhythm. Look at the flash on that. See why that twitch is so good? So, and then it'll suspend there. So I try to get it, you know, into like a little rhythm. And it doesn't have to be like massively crazy either. So I drag it. Twitch, twitch, twitch. Then I'll let it sit there. Twitch, twitch. Twitch, twitch, twitch. Twitch, twitch. And I just do that over and over. And you can just slow crank it in if you want. Let it hang around the surface when you start out, and then it'll get down there. It's a suspending model. So I'm just kind of letting it hang around the top there, just a couple of cranks, and then a sweep. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I can see all the shad flickering down there. That's kind of cool. Kind of looks like this guy flashing down there. In a new little spot. It's a giant flat out here. We're gonna see what kind of good stuff we can catch. So what am I gonna do to start off with? I've got the St. Croix black bass 12 fluoro leader, and I've got this 12-pound sunline. And I'm gonna start off by throwing the Bomber Shallow A and this Foxy Mama. Man, I love throwing the Shallow A. It is such a cool lure. It's got great action with it. And I'm throwing this in a loose speed spin 300. So I'm gonna have to wait out here a little bit. This is just a massive flat. And so I'm just gonna cast around and let this thing do its job. It's essentially a wake bait, but you can let it go subsurface by a couple of inches. So I've never fished this exact spot. Normally I'm way down there off a point. Oops, I got this guy hung up a little. Usually I'm way down there. And so today I'm way over here. Now it does get deep pretty quick. So this is like mid-calf right here. Then it'll slope down to 6 feet and then all the way down to 10 feet. But how I fish this is I just kind of crank, 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 kill it. And if I do it real slow, I can just let it wake across the surface. Really slow. And slowly pick up steam. You can kind of see it there. And they'll find it, or you can get it subsurface a little bit. Man, it's a great little lure. I think I said I had fluoro. That's the other rod. This one I've got mono for the leader. And I think it's actually on this one, 10-pound mono leader for top water. But man, I tell you what, it's going to be a gorgeous day today. You can see how low the water is here. Normally it's back up into the, almost to the woods there. Normally I'm fishing on the north side of the lake over there. Anyway, so that's going to be the plan for today. Start off with some top water, then move to some other baits, guys. This little spot here is perfect for bladed jigs, square bills, all kinds of good stuff. All right, guys, on the Bomber Shallow A, right here and close. Let's see what we got here. Oh, check this out. It's a nice hybrid. Boy, he just came up and clocked it. He was in the shallows. Check him out. He's a gorgeous little fish. There you go, buddy. Choom! Boy, they don't need much water depth-wise, do they? Pooh! That's pretty cool. All right, guys, there it is. That's what I caught them on. I usually fish the original hooks that comes with these for quite a while, and then if something comes up or they start rusting or get dull out, I switch to these Berkeley Fusion 19s, and I got a little bit of hair on the back of that thing that I added. This thing's got great castability. It's just a fun little lure to fish with. A couple other things I want to switch to. I want to switch to that Livingston Walking Boss 2. Give that a try. I think I'm going to do that next. Alright guys, here's the Livingston Walking Boss 2. And this is just a fantastic lure by Livingston. My buddy Eric Arnoldson runs a show over there. And the cool thing about these is they have that EBS technology. The electronic bake sound. So it'll start doing its ning 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 after about 10 seconds. Look at that goofy little duck right there. Oh yeah, this Walking Boss 2, guys. This thing is legit right here. I got these little shad flickering around me. Man, this thing is just awesome. It does have kind of a big sploosh, so just kind of let it sit there. Uh-oh. I got him hung up. I got to recast. What happened here? Can you hear it doing its ning 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 ning? There we go. Alright guys, with this mono, I don't really go all out on mono. I don't use it that much. But I'm using this Bass Pro Shops mono, which works just fine. Now, on these bigger baits, I do kind of let it sit there and let the rings dissipate. But normally I don't have any trouble with it. I've got just as many fish just going right out of the gate with it. God, look at that thing. You can hear him doing his ning, 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 ning. Where did that goofy little duck go? He finally took off. He didn't have a friend with him. And I hate sloshing around in here, trying to get to the spot. I don't want to disturb the water too much. Guys, this is the deal. I'm sweating my butt off. And look how late we are in this season. It can get, we get these days in North Texas where it's just so nice. Yeah, where did that funny little duck go? There might have been like an eagle or a hawk flying in it. He freaked out. All right, guys, I went to that point, and it's about waist deep, kind of like it is here. So there's not much. That I fished the square bill along the rocks over there, through the little jig spinner, nothing doing, through some top water over there. It's just so shallow. You'd figure it'd be like a steep bluff and drop off there, but it isn't. So I'm just back over here. There's a little bit more depth throwing this guy. All right, we're gonna go to our other spot. Well, we got one out of here on the Bomber Shallow A. That was pretty cool. All right, let's head over there. See if there's any crappie hanging around the rocks. I've got the Lew's Crappie Thunder on a Lew's Speed Spin 100. And I got a little Jig Spinner, a little twin tail on it. I've been seeing them zipping around along these rocks here. And some shad have been flickering. Ooh, what was that? Somebody's fishing line, no doubt. All right, guys, let's see if we got a crappie here. What is this? A trout? No. It looked like it from the side, with the sun hitting on him. It's just a little bass. There he is. Cool little fish. There you go. Don't ever leave home without a little jig spinner. That's a little Barbie Garland head. The heads are kind of iffy because they start in the heat coming apart, melting-ish. The paint does, not the jig, the paint. So I've been sealing them with some nail polish hardener and some of that Barlow's, whatever company they sell. They have a little clear coat. He looked like a trout, as long and narrow as he was, zipping through there. They don't start stocking trout here in Texas until like January and February. And it's just so kids can get out and catch them. And I mean, it's fun to go out and catch a few. What do we got here, guys? What do we got here? Nice bass on the jig spinner. Yep. I switched over to a different one. This one looks more like a minnow. Come on, get out of there. Boy, he's hooked. Sheesh. There we go. It's a little Kayak. Oops, I dropped it down there. He was just cruising along. Look at that, hunting. Man, that's a gorgeous fish right there. There you go, buddy. He was right along the rocks. He hit it there and he went all the way this way, and I'm standing on these loose rocks, so I had to wait to turn the camera on. He was kind of behind me. I don't ever do the audio for the camera work. Let me show you what this looks like. Like right there. Just put a little jig head on it and run it through. It's just so basic, but they love to clip it, that's for sure. Did you count them? Six dogs. I guess they follow him when he kayaks around. There was one swimming. I gotta watch out because there's coyotes. But I guess with a pack of them, a coyote wouldn't. There's too many of them. Look, they crawl on the rocks. There's another one. There's 7 of them. 7. Look, that one's pretty smart. He knows that he's going around the tip of that little point, and so that one's cutting through the trees. Oh man, that's pretty cool. All right guys, check this out. It's a little tube jig. Looks like a little bluegill on the jig spinner. Was pitching it around on this Lou's Crappie Thunder. So then I walked all the way back into that corner, throwing top water through there and then pitching this. Couldn't get anything. Oh man, so this is spot number 2. We're gonna go to spot number 3. We're gonna see what we can get over there. All right, see you there. All right guys, here we go. Back at this spot, which you guys know, throwing this little bluegill, colored, it's like a tube from Bass Pro Shops. I saw that, I said, I need to get that. So I put a little dinky little tube jig in there, the little head that goes in there. There it is. It kind of wants to blow out. That's the only thing. I guess because I have a weight on that. It's not really a normal jig head that you would put on a jig spinner. There it goes. Right here close, guys. On that little bluegill jig spinner. It's got like a little tube in there. There it is. There he is. There's a whole bunch of these minnows in here. I'm gonna switch to something to try out real fast. All right, guys, check this out. This Blake over at Dark Corner Customs. Oops, I had to take my hat off. I'm just kind of reaching around here. This came in like a little bonus, an eBay purchase I had, and this thing was just wrecked. And so he cleaned it up for me, repainted it, so hopefully this thing will catch up. It looks just like the minnows that are flickering around down there, and the shad. Let's give it a shot. Man, I can see them flicking around down there. There's a big school of them there. I don't know if you can see them right in front of me. And then some other ones will be flickering. Check that out. There it is. Looks just like them. See them right there? Crazy. They're all over. So I don't know if this is going to compete with them or how this will work. I felt the thump there. Felt another thump. You know what I think it is? The thumps, I think they're swimming into my line. Let's see, is this a sinker? Yep, this sinks. They're swimming into my line. That's what I keep feeling, the thunk, thunk. Ooh! There we go. Something hit it. He's taking it into shore. Now he's coming back this way. Oh yeah, look, it's one of these little pencil necks. Ah. Oops, I gotta change the battery on my GoPro. You guys will disappear in just a second, I assume. Hey. Come on. There he goes. There he is. Boy, he just squirted right out of my hand. All right, so this thing's gonna work. This little funny little minnow that Blake painted for me that was just wrecked. Check that out. All right, I gotta switch my battery. Pretty far out there, guys. This may be an actual bass on this funny little twitch bait. Oh man, he had a buddy with him. That was weird. Or cool, I guess I could say. Maybe his buddy was trying to get the front end of this. Ooh. Carp. There we go. All right, now I have another one of these that he painted for me. We're gonna switch to that one. Look at those Fusion 19s on there. Good stuff. Same thing, guys, check this out. Blake did this one. I don't know if this was a Rapala. It's gotta be a Rapala. There's nothing on the bill. Usually they have something on the bill, but man, this little dude, I've caught a ton of fish on him. I put eyes on him because he was just so wrecked. Look at all those little fish. You see him there busting on the surface? Oh my gosh, guys. What was that? Look at this. Yeah, this thing looks cool. Something whacked it and he didn't get it. Crazy. All right, so he sinks. Man, it is so much fun just to be out here fishing, enjoying life, just to have the opportunity to fish. All right, guys, we're hooked up on the Big O, the smallest of the Big O. Big O's, I don't know what that is, a 75 or 74. Boy, he just cracked it. And this is a really dark one too, a little real dark Big O. Check out that color. Man, he just cranked into it. I thought it was like a bass. There was a big carp just jumped. Check out this old boy. This is a good eater size right here. There you go, buddy. There you go. Check this out. Look at that thing. It looks awesome in the water. It's got glitter on there. Just running my little seam through here. If you use any of these little crappie crankbaits, like this is a little teeny Big O, or some of the other ones by like Arky Cream has some, get this little crappie Thunder or an ultralight, get some good line on there, and you can have a ton of fun. Downsizing doesn't mean that you're not going to catch big fish, man. I've caught tons of big fish on smaller baits. All right, guys, we're hooked up way out there on another one. Maybe this one's a bass. I gotta watch out for this hawk up here buzzing around. He may want to get him. Oh, there we go. Easy. There he is. Good little fish. It's on this big O. This little small size of the big O. It's pretty good. All right, I heard a sploosh. Oh, he didn't get the fish. He's back up there now. Huh. Some kind of hawk. All right, guys. Look at all those bait fish. There's just hundreds of them. And I've just tossed all kinds of stuff through there. That funny little glide bait, that mini glide bait, nothing, not even a sniff. So I switched over to one of these jig spinners with a arky hiney, one of the little, they have a bunch of them, tiny hiney, big hiney. I just call them the hiney series. And they're so much fun to... What on earth was that? I've seen a beaver swimming around here, but something just went in and crashed right there. What in the heck was that? I've got some big bass cruising through here. Look at that. Look at that. I'm telling you guys, you got to carry a jig spinner in your arsenal. A couple more casts and I'm gonna wrap it up for today. Man, we were all over the place, starting in different spots. Then we went to, how many total? 3? Look at all those fish. Man, it's tough to compete against that. I wonder if those are like those little white bass, little wipers. Maybe baby carp. It could be baby carp. Man, but they're just everywhere. This dude over here was throwing a dip net or a cast net because they're fishing for catfish. I'll have to ask him what in the heck those are. They're definitely not shad. They don't look like shad. The only time they freak out is if they can hear my voice sometimes. And then when I wave or I move my body, my shadow crosses over. They don't even really, they'll sometimes chase this thing. But I wave my hand up in the air. These people over here think I'm nuts. And then they freak out down there. All right, guys, one more good cast. And then we'll call it. Such a great day to be out. Hard to believe that it's this late in the year. And the weather's so nice. God, look at all of them down there. Look, I'll run this guy right through there. think those are little carp is what they are. Man, if I was a big bass, I'd just be cruising up underneath that whole school of them. If you were a little to mid-sized bass, you could be fattening up, putting on a few inches, clocking those things. Look at that. Look at that. All right, one more good cast. I'm just mesmerized by watching those fish. They're picking at stuff on the surface, that's for sure. Guys, it's gonna wrap it up for me for today. Thanks for hanging out with me on this adventure, and until the next time, I will see you then. Bye bye. Now get out there and get your lures wet.